to come across the pond. Now Toronto, as you say, crashed out of the cup at Warrington on Sunday amidst a flurry of red and yellow cards. At one stage they were playing with just 10 men. The 66-10 beating, their heaviest defeat in their brief history so far. Adam Higson, an early try scorer in the cup tie, is out. He'll miss the next 10 weeks, so their big money import from Warrington, Matty Russell, makes his debut. Australian prop Darcy Lussick is another casualty after the cup tie. Jake Emmett moves from loose forward and Sam Hopkins is in the starting 13. It's all change on the interchange bench. Blake Wallace, Olsey Krasnicki and Richard Whiting, they all come in. None of them featured last week at Warrington. Now for Toulouse Olympique, some of their biggest names are missing, which is a big blow. Former Catalan playmaker Stanislas Robin misses out, as do former Kiwi Test star Sam Rapira, the ex-Wigan prop Eddie Pettiborn and Samoan international Constantine Mika. So big money for the French side sitting on the sidelines. However, teenager James Worthington on loan from Wigan, he only arrived in Toulouse on Wednesday. He makes his debut on the wing, having played for Swinton on loan against Toulouse earlier this season. Another new signing, Chris Centrone from Australia, is on the other wing. And on the bench, the Auckland-born Tyler Heppy is the son of the former Hull KR, Castleford, Featherstone and Salford star, Brad Heppy. So the two sides waiting patiently in the tunnel. It's an international flavour to the 2018 Magic Weekend this. Top two, as we say, in the championship table. The showcase of the fact that rugby league is now a transatlantic sport. The 12th Magic Weekend, fourth successive time here in Newcastle. How wonderful the teams from France and Canada play match number 73, Terry.
Really looking forward to this game, Eddie. Both of these sides want to be a part of the Magic Weekend next year, but as a Super League side, two teams that are very aggressive and like to attack, and there's been an awful lot of talk over the last couple of years about how good this Toronto side are, how many points they score, but Toulouse in the league have scored more points than them. I think Toulouse will turn up here with a bit of a swagger, a confident air about themselves, even though they're missing those four big players, Eddie. They know they're up against a Toronto side that I thought they let themselves down on the big stage. 3 players sin bin, 1 man sent off. All the talk about them playing in Super League with all the stars that's been assembled by Paul Rowley. That man, Josh McCrone, he is a competitor. He does know how to play this game. And what you've got here are two very committed 17s. And I can't wait for this kick-off. I think this is going to be the best game of the day, Eddie.
Well, that's a big call with what's to come. The Toulouse side, they have not been involved in the Challenge Cup this year. That may benefit them further down the line. In 2005, they reached the Challenge Cup semi-final, you might remember, under coach Justin Morgan. They beat Widnes in the quarter-finals, but went out in the semi-finals against Leeds at Huddersfield, 18 points to 56. They played 14 times in all in the Challenge Cup. Perfect weather for a magical weekend that's about to kick off. And Toulouse in white, the Toronto Wolfpack are in red today. Ashton Sims, of course, and all of these players, many of these players, they have got Super League experience under the tank, and you just never know what we're going to get in this opening match of the 2018 Magic. Andrew Dixon sent off 7 minutes into the second half last week. Liam Kay, Josh McCrone and Darcy Lussick all sin-binned. But with the exception of Lussick, who is injured, they're all here tonight. So away we go. And the players will be sheltering their eyes from the sunshine, which is streaming down from an absolutely cloudless sky here above St James's Park. And it's the Toulouse Olympique side, second in the table, who have the first use of the football.
Conditions perfect as well there, Eddie, as Toulouse look to shift the ball. They have got a very dangerous left edge. They will look to predominantly play that down that side. Jonathan Ford, who's the number 6, he is the key man for Toulouse. All the players come through him.
Gouache is the dummy half, and he gets it away to William Bartau, formerly with the Catalan Dragons. 5 years there. Good kick downfield, collected on his own 20-metre line by Gareth O'Brien. And now let's see exactly what the Toronto Wolfpack can do. Some big money has been spent already on getting them into Super League next year. They believe what a remarkable run it would be if they get into the big time. They will have reached Super League after just 3 years of existence. And you never know, this could well be a rehearsal for the £1 million game, or even better come the end of the campaign. They might, both of them get into Super League, and we'll certainly be seeing a lot of these two sides, I fancy, during the course of the qualifying campaign. It's a high kick, and it's knocked down nicely, and the ball bouncing everywhere, and they keep it alive. This is Corey Patterson, gets it wide, and I think this is going to be the first try of the match. No, he has disallowed it as referee Scott Miklauskas.
Well, Liam Kay, a lot of people outside of Super League said just how good he is, and look at the back three for this Toronto side in Gareth O'Brien, Matty Russell, Liam Kay. When they do get the ball, they do like to shift it to the edge. They give the ball to Liam Kay just as he's going over, trying to ground that ball. He loses possession.
And a great decision by Scott Miklauskas, who has to make the decisions on his own today. No video referees. No video referee decisions here today in this first match, because it is in the Betfred Championship.
A great try-saving tackle, I think, very, very early on. We know about Toronto's attacking prowess. You could see the quickness of thought there to get the ball to that left edge. Great dislodging tackle in that right corner to prevent Liam Kay from scoring.
Kouache is very dangerous. French international way back in 2015, and Toulouse Olympique get the first penalty of the match.
Well, whenever you play rugby league, whether it be in the Championship or the Super League, you just need to make sure you keep on getting forward, try and get the one-on-one tackles. Kouache does exactly that. Finds a little half gap, and then the penalty ensues then from Bob Bezic. Good field position here for Toulouse.
Indeed so, and look out for Jonathan Ford, who is wearing number 6 for Ireland International. He is the playmaker, he's the go-to man for Toulouse, and it's with him now, and he gets the pass away, and good work from Rhys Curran. Rash again, Ford bullets the pass. It's a chance here for Adair, but they've lost the ball, and Gareth O'Brien comes away with it for the Toronto Wolfpack.
That's going to be a good battle over on the left-hand side with Toulouse. Adair against Chase Stanley. Two big centres who do like to attack, wingers centres who like to promote the ball as well at every opportunity.
Well, that's a good hit, but it was not a tackle that was completed. And so that meant that Greg Worthington is able to bring the ball away for the Toronto Wolfpack. One thing you can say about these two sides, I did have a little look at them at the Easter weekend match between these two sides. They both love to play football. They love to push the ball out wide. It's not necessarily straight down the middle stuff. Here's Corey Patterson again. Of course, we don't need much introduction as far as he is concerned. Hull Kingston Rovers and Salford formerly. Macron gets a short ball away, but it's spilled again, and Planas picks it up. But now they've got the ball back, and here goes Liam Kay, and Liam Kay gets over for the first try. No video referee, as I say. The two touch judges are in position. This is going to be given. It is. First try of the match to Liam Kay, their top try scorer this year. Liam Kay, 17 now for 2018.
And it was Liam Kay that finished. He almost finished a couple of minutes ago in the corner, denied by a despairing tackle. This time, though, this is where it started. Smart play by Josh McCrone to go down the short side. The ball goes to ground, and it's a one-on-one strip, so that's play on. That smart play twice in one play. Liam Kay doesn't need a second invitation. He scores the first try, but it all started by the overcall from McCrone to go down the short side. Sticks Worthington through the gap, ball goes to ground, play on here, one-on-one steal. And Scott Miklauskas, I think that's a great piece of refereeing from him, allowing these players to play on, and Liam Kay, well, he gets the scoreboard going.
Well, we have no video referee. We have better than that. We have Stuart Cummings.
Well, the key to that is that the ball carrying arm, or the ball itself, never ever touched the ground. So the tackle wasn't complete, so he was entitled to steal it. The referee and the two touch judges perfectly correct to carry on, allowing play on from that situation.
I think Sebastian Planas was trying to play the ball, get up and play the ball, and he just had it stolen from him by Josh McCrone. So Ryan Briley with the attempt to add the extras. Made his name with Paul Rowley at Leeds, remember, 2012 to 2016, a prolific point scorer for the Lee Centurions.
Time on.
And Briley, he adds the extra 2 points. Toronto lead by 6 points to 0.
Not only have they got some competitive, they've got some world-class stars, and when you look at Josh McCrone, he spots something on the short side. He knows that they've got numbers. Anytime you can give this man the ball in space, he's going to be difficult to stop. But McCrone with the one-on-one strip, he knew exactly where his winger was, and it's a good start from both sides. But Toronto get the first points.
Okay, man.
Well, they led 8-0 in the first half against Warrington last week at Toronto. A try from Liam Kay and Adam Hickson. But that's not the best restart for them. McCrone puts the hand up, straight through his fingertips.
Well, going to be disappointed with that. Maybe the sun was in his eyes then, Josh McCrone.
It's straight in his eyes,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Got plenty of height. You could see that he puts his hands above his head. Positionally, he gets it all wrong. Scores a try, in front on the scoreboard, 6-0, and then you come up with that mistake straight from the kickoff.
Drop out underneath their own sticks then. Chance here for Toulouse to strike back almost immediately, if they possibly can. Bezic was first to the runner. And he gets to his feet and plays the ball to Kouache again. He's gone without it once again. A knock on, well, criminal. The first tackle really from the goal line dropout.
Well, Kouache just making that mistake and in decent field position on the second play. You've got to make sure that if you do get set to 6 and you are early in the tackle count, you're 35 metres from the opponent's line, you've got to make sure that you set the lines, you set the start points for your halfbacks. Jonathan Ford would be standing behind the forwards, telling what point of attack they want to get to. Unfortunately, that's just a poor mistake.
Yeah, mistake from Maxime Kouache in his 3rd season with Toulouse Olympique. Managing quickly there with the tackle. Now they're on the back foot a little bit here, the French side. It's another knock on, is it? No, it went backwards, says referee Miklauskas. So play on. They have it with Gareth O'Brien. Here now is Jacob Emmett.
Working really hard from the inside. Toulouse trying to put pressure on the ball players in McCrone and Briley.
And Dixon takes the ball forward once again. He will play it there to Bob Bezic. Ashton Sims grits his teeth, takes it forward to the 20-metre line. Last tackle coming up here for Toronto. Bezic again gets the ball wide. McCrone off the boot, then in towards the corner. Well picked up by Carella, the fullback for Toulouse, moving across, cutting out the danger.
Well, they get to be down straight away then, Carella. Clever kick from Toronto, spot some space. Toulouse just shooting out the line, trying to close the players down. And this is where they like to keep you now. A couple of players at Toronto need to make sure they're disciplined with the referee, stay on side. They give 16 penalties away last week against Warrington. Very physical in that game. Good shot from Corey Patterson here. Trying to make the play the ball slow, and doing a decent job as well.
Well, many Canadian viewers will be up and watching this today, I'm sure, from Newcastle. And they'll be happy that their team is featuring on Sky Sports. And more importantly, they're 6-0 ahead early in the piece here at the Dacia Magic Weekend. And welcome along to Rugby League. You're part of the family now. As Chase Stanley goes into dummy half.
6-0 ahead, Eddie, and look by far the more composed of the two sides. This is looks like a stage they're very, very comfortable on, Toronto. You see the way that they're working through the sets as well, even distribution of play, the backs are getting in, taking plenty of work from the forwards, and then these probing lines from Ashton Sims, they're going to start to take their toll on this Toulouse defence.
And the heat as well. I mean, they're lucky that they're playing a little bit earlier in the Magic Weekend than normal. Here is a knock-on, though, by the Toronto Wolfpack.
I think the conditions would favour the Toulouse side from the south of France. The timing wasn't quite right for that pass then.
Can get pretty warm in Toronto, Terry.
It can, but it's not as warm there this time of year, Eddie, as what it is in the south of
I
France.
think they've only been over there once. This year, anyway. They have a raft of fixtures coming up at Lamport Field at the end of the season. And as I said in the build-up to this, if Toronto win,
Jake,
you
hold
must
that
make
10
them
metres for me.
odds on
Hold that
to
line,
finish
all right.
top of the pile.
Well, you just look down the back line of the players that they've got at the disposal, and the back line looks like a Super League side. They've got big forwards. They're led by Ashton Sims, who's a good leader on and off the field for the club, along with Bob Bezic, Jake Emmett. They've got some real quality
Okay,
stars.
fellas.
There's been an awful lot of money
Nice and
spent
ready.
at both of these sides.
Make sure we're binding.
Listen, it's a shame for
Sebastian.
Toulouse that so many of their big money signings are watching from the stands today.
Yeah, but
Corey, come
Toulouse
on.
themselves, Eddie, even
Time
though they're
on,
missing
hands.
the likes of Sam Rapira and Eddie Pettibone, that they've still got
One,
enough players with enough qualities to cause some problems, but they can't be near their own end of the field.
This is Puesh again, trying to make up for that error
Hold.
early in the tackle count. Last time they had the ball in their hands. Puesh gets it away here, and this is Andrew Bentley, I beg your pardon. 4 years with the Catalan
Hold.
Dragons was Bentley.
Stand up. Go
Kruash to his feet, Bentley to his feet, plays the ball to Kruash. Ford does well, spins out of trouble. The ball is fed out here down this left-hand side to James Worthington.
Move, Ryan.
Worthington only arrived to Toulouse on Wednesday. He's on loan from Wigan. Curran takes the ball forward.
5. Move, Andrew. Hold, Sam.
They've reached tackle number 5, Toulouse. They are going to give away a penalty
Reece,
here for...
Stand up and play the ball.
Didn't get up to his feet and play the ball correctly.
There's a few times in this
Time's up.
position that they've made mistakes, and the referee just saying that, look, you've got to make sure that you get up, play the ball
Wait there.
correctly.
They're the ones that are really
Offside.
punish you out there, Terry. I mean, they are up against it. By the way that the first 10 minutes of this game has gone, they look a little nervous. They're not completing the sets. They're not able to put
Reece,
any
come on, just
pressure
stand up.
on this Toronto outfit. And this is not the area of the field that you want them.
Not with men like
One.
Ashton Sims marauding forward. Midway inside the Toulouse half of the field now, and it's Ryan Briley gets the short pass away to Dixon. That's good defence. Curran was in very quickly.
Go 2.
Bezic and Briley fires the pass. McCrone tries to bring Patterson into it. Patterson making good progress despite 3 shirts around him and trying to get almost to the try line, just pushed back. There is Emmett. Oh, good ball. Stanley even better. And out wide it comes, and that is Matty Russell on his Toronto Wolfpack debut. Former Wigan, Hull and Warrington man, a 2-year deal signed with Toronto. This is his debut. He was cup-tied last week. He couldn't play against his former club. But Matty Russell gets his Toronto Wolfpack try tally up and running here.
We'll get into the 5th play, 50 metres from your line. You give the ball over, don't get to the kick, and that's criminal, really. Jonathan Ford, we've given a lot of plaudits for what he does when he's got the ball, but he's either got to communicate better and pull more players out towards him, so he's in a more of a comfortable position when he's defending, because he tries to go in, gets caught in absolute no man's land, and Toronto shift the ball out. First of all, it was Liam Kay. Second try that they've scored, it's the opposite winger in Matty Russell.
Well, they're good to watch, aren't they?
They're very good, yeah. I think the player that we've probably not mentioned enough already today is the quality that Gareth O'Brien brings from the full-back position. Matty Russell, the eventual try scorer, and he'll be full of that now because it's his debut for the Wolfpack on this stage. But Gareth O'Brien, I think he's one of the better quality players in Super League, and here he is plying his trade for Toronto. Great timed ball. You mentioned that they got the numbers wrong there on that left edge. Still needs taken advantage of, still needs the right pass selection, and I think he got that just right, didn't he, to chase Stanley and then on to Russell for Toronto's second score.
Well, Matty Russell's got a great opportunity to stamp his authority down this wing for Toronto. Adam Hickson will be out for 10 weeks for the fractured collarbone. He's probably quite happy that he's not actually playing here today because he was sent off in the Magic last year for the Lee Centurions. Here is Briley. He's brought his shooting boots with him, that's for sure. And the Toronto Wolfpack lead by 12 points to 0. Just less than a point a minute.
Remember the challenge as well last year, it was a shocker, wasn't it? This is the ball that I'm talking about. Assessing the defensive line and then that cut-out pass to Stanley, to Russell in the corner. It's accomplished, it's composed, and probably the first of many for that man.
Well, I mentioned the fact that viewers in Canada are watching this on Sportsnet World. I bet you're enjoying exactly what you're seeing, and you're going to enjoy it even more here because this kick-off sailing out on the full, and you expect better from Mark Kerala.
No, well, the last 2 times that they've they've got to the either the kick or they've got to this area. They've made mistakes, Eddie, and that's just not good enough because Toronto are now just 40 metres from Toulouse's line. It can't be repetitive. You can't keep defending your own line. They're really getting caught as they play direct, but they're playing and shifting the ball here.
Oh, and they have numbers out on that left-hand side as well. It was an important ankle tap, and the tackle finished off by Boyer. That's Patterson. He gets it away once again to McCrone, formerly with Canberra Raiders. And what's more, they've defended really well because they've bundled the ex-Raider over the touchline on the far side.
Well, they needed it as well. 3 players there in attendance for Toulouse. Tried to offload the ball back in the field of play, knowing that they were going to get pushed from the pitch. It's good defence, and it's defence that's needed as well.
There's Marguerite has showed up well there. His first contact, he's not just tried to take McGrone to the floor, he's held him up and allowed time for the rest of his defenders to come across. Used the touchline to their advantage, and they needed that as well because they couldn't have gone another score down. That would have changed the entire complex of the game.
A little more history than the Toronto Wolfpack. Toulouse Olympique, they were founded 1937, and they are 6-time winners of the French Rugby League Championship. Pouesh here, wrestled to the ground. There's that man, Pouesh.
They hit with some force, don't they? Sam Hopkins then just getting off his line. Good contact initially on Bentley.
Ford, he is the magician. Curran now takes it forward. He is the go-to man. Look, he wants to be involved, and in fact he called the referee Scott McClauskas then to give that penalty, and the referee had no alternative. Hands in at the ruck by Jake Emmett.
Well, Ford and Curran just really do look after this left-hand side. Comes back on an angle, finds his front. Toronto knowing that they didn't quite win that play, trying to slow it down a bit, and they get the penalty from that.
Toronto won't be, rather Toulouse won't be overly concerned, John, because in that Easter match they were trailing badly, but they had a real late rally. They almost nicked it. 24-22 it was in the end.
Yeah,
Toronto.
They've got some smart operators on the field, but I think that arguably the most significant individual at club is the coach, Sylvain Houlez. I mean, he has been spoken about in the very highest terms. People fully expect him to be a Super League coach in the future. If not with Toulouse, then with another team. That's the regard in which he's held. So he's got this group of men working for one another, and you're right, they'll not be panicking. That said, they need to start taking advantage of the time that they are spending down in this area of the field.
Artau spins away from the would-be challenge. Big day for the Houlez family. Sylvain's wife Maud is English-born. She actually comes from Newcastle, and all her family are here at St James's Park today to see his team in action.
Well, they get a penalty here. Toronto player caught on the wrong side of the ruck. I think it's Josh McCrone. But I do think they missed an opportunity again. It's Jonathan Ford, the man we're talking about, when they get in that field position, fixes defenders, threads the players through the gap, and then when they're looking for an offload, someone needs to be there on the jump.
Well, no point in even thinking about the 2 points on offer. And Bentley carting it forward into the 10-metre zone of Toronto for the first time. So let's see how good the Wolfpack are at defence. Well, that's good work from Corella, their leading scorer. The only ever present in the side this year, Mark Corella. But he's grounded 5 metres away from the line. A bit of an entanglement with Chase Stanley. Oh, and he's going on his own here, and he gets the try. Does the hooker Kouache. That's good play from Toulouse, and the first time that the Toronto defence was under pressure, Toulouse found the hole, found the gap, and Corella gets over for his 12th try of the season. Kouache, I beg your pardon, gets over for his 4th try of the season.
Well, a couple of penalties here that they received. They marched Toronto down there their own try line. Corella only sits in the ruck behind Ford. And then you can see when he gets out here, Crash, he's got some men that are running in, they're looking at hitting some holes. And he's a little powerful player. He gets rid of Stanley and over for the first try for Toulouse.
The man ex of Carcassonne and the London Scholars, Murad Krayush. His brother Hosni also is a rugby league player.
He's done particularly well because there was a play set there with Boyer, one of 2 forwards who were stood on the outside of him. That was the play. But he's prepared to play with his eyes up. And have a look at what the defence is doing inside of him. Chase Stanley didn't work hard enough from the marker position, and they've taken advantage. And they'll be pleased with this return because the time they spent down here has not been significant.
Well, he's a prolific goal kicker, is Kerala. That was an easy chance for him, but the lead is halved. Toronto 12, Toulouse 6.
Yeah, it's just getting the eyes up there. It was Boyer and Puesh who were offering the two hard lines underneath the sticks. Kruash has decided to take things into his own hands. That's always good to see a player who's prepared to abandon a play for a better option rather than just going through with that same play. They get the rewards.
Show we're on.
They do indeed. 12-6 now, though, to Toronto. And in no hurry to restart this match. We're just after 1 o'clock. The temperature is rising, the mercury rising in the thermometers. It's a warm day. I think when the first Super League match gets underway at about 3 o'clock, it will be boiling hot out there at pitchside. Here is a penalty now to Toulouse, and don't tell me the indiscipline that Toronto showed in the cup tie. Warrington is coming back to haunt them. 3 in a row against them.
Well, they had a couple of penalties in good field position. Now want to get out of the poor position that they're in, which will certainly help them. And Toulouse, I'm sure that there'll be a lot of talk in their ranks about getting through the sets and making sure that they're completing and getting to the kick. They'll knock these sets out in 5. Get through 5 sets to 6, get to your kick, you'll grind down the opposition there, you'll force them into making poor errors.
Kruash at dummy half. Here's Ford, gets it away to Kerala. Kerala trying to spin away from Andrew Dixon and Hopkins, Sam Hopkins. Kruash again. It's a short ball away. Boyer now.
Come on, come on.
Midway inside the Wolfpack half of the field. Good run. Ford once again. Stanley gets to him. He gets the arms free, gets the ball away.
Hold. Goal 5.
And Adair was the man who was on the end of the pass. Ford stabs the kick towards the corner. It's a good kick too, but just the wrong side of the corner post. And Gareth O'Brien took the option, took the gamble, and it paid off for him.
You know, the kick wasn't the best one from Ford. He wanted it to land this side, and well, I'm really impressed, Eddie, with Kruash. I think that the way he's getting out from dummy half is causing an awful lot of problems, and you can see that the Toronto players are just sitting back, some of those bigger forwards in the middle, not knowing how to deal with him.
It's because he's playing what he's seeing in front of him. There's nothing preordained about what he's doing. He's picking the ball up, having a look at the defensive line. And whilst this Toronto defensive line are being challenged, as good as they are in attack, that is arguably they're still their Achilles heel. They play in a certain style, don't they, Terry? Close to the hedge.
Oh, that's a good hit. Bentley, wow, right over the top. And Jake Emmett felt that. The important thing for Toronto is because of that kick going, touching goal, they get a 7-tackle set, but now it's a penalty to Toulouse.
Yeah.
Contact with the defender, okay,
just on the far side there, ran around his own man.
Good shot that, wasn't it, from Bentley? Straight over the top, very dominant on Jake Emmett. Shoulder in, he wore that tackle well. They get this penalty. This is the 4th one, I think, on the bounce now.
It is.
Toulouse has had.
That more a technical penalty, wasn't it? The obstruction, the other 3. But for indiscretions around the play of the ball, really.
1.
Well, I'm sure they'll take any penalty that they get, Eddie.
Toulouse will. Absolutely right. They're back in this match, that's for sure. Bentley
2.
taking it forward. Toronto having to work hard in defence here. And that is Marion who's on the field, and that's a knock-on. In fact, it's a penalty, another penalty to Toulouse.
He hasn't collected the ball.
Saying that the Toulouse, was it the fullback Kerala who was tackled without the ball?
Josh!
That's 5 in a row, and the referee here, as we watch this replay, he's going to have a word with Josh McCrone and warn him, I think, about the club's discipline and the fact they've had 5 penalties on the run.
That was a harsh one, I thought.
Okay, Josh.
Not as clear cut.
We've got a few too many penalties now for various reasons against your side. Okay, I want you lads to clear the ruck and sort it out. Okay,
well,
go and talk to them. I'll hold it. You go and talk to them.
They're not deliberate, mate.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, he has.
He's learned his lesson from last week.
Well, he does, but he also has a lot to say, doesn't he, Josh McCrone, to referees? He doesn't take a backward step. Ben Thaler would tell you that, I think, after the cup tie.
I think Phil Clark's the good statistician on this one. I think 40%, he was telling me earlier today, of penalties given away in a game are for infringements around the ruck. So it's not uncommon.
One. Move!
Tyler Heppy, that could have been another penalty there. There was a second push by Emmett on him. Here is Marion, utility back.
Goal line! Ryan!
Kriash still out there. He's in, looks forward, I think, right now, is Marion, even though he's got 9 on his back.
Move! Hold.
Because the dummy half there once again.
Goal 3.
Is Murad Kriash. He gets it away to Bentley. Bentley then found that man, Marion.
Hold.
And they're very close to the line once more. Last time they were down here so close, they got over for the try. Possibilities here from Heppy. Good defence required and good defence produced by Emmett. Kriash again. Into centre field it goes. This is Corella. Short ball, forward pass.
Oh, so unlucky, because they had the numbers. It was a fudged. In fact, it's an obstruction that's been given away again.
Obstruction penalty. Just went through on the man, left him on the ground.
Oh, sorry, fellas.
They had the numbers. Was there a need to obstruct? Was there a need for that? Yeah, that's a clear obstruction. But look at the numbers they had anyway. That's the most frustrating thing, isn't it? Yes, that was a clear obstruction penalty, but you know, I guess more encouragingly for Toulouse, and Sylvain Houlaz can take that into his half-time briefing with these men, is that you know this Toronto side is fallible. There are errors there. There are spaces.
Olsi Krasnicki is on the field, as is Adam Sidlow. That is Bezic. There is Emmett. There is Sidlow. Started at Widnes, Adam Sidlow. Many of these names I know in the red jerseys will be familiar to you if you watch the Super League over the past 22 seasons. Bezic once more. Scamper away, gets the ball wide. McCrone. From Temora in Australia, Josh McCrone. Plays the ball to Bezic. This is Briley, short ball to Patterson. They're there in numbers again. Patterson's on his way over the line. It's good defence down that right-hand side for Toulouse.
Again, Eddie, what they're doing is they're getting underneath the big man in Corey Patterson, holding him up, not letting him get to ground, not letting him find his feet, elbows and knees to play the ball maybe for another attack.
I actually think there's a couple of occasions now where Patterson's got himself in the wrong attacking hole. I think he's too close to his half-back, whether that's been McCrone or Briley on that occasion. He needs to step out and angle back in, because you're right, they're doing an excellent job of not just tackling but holding and moving as well.
Look, we've only seen them at close quarters for 25 minutes, but looking at what we have seen and thinking about what we've seen, would either of these two sides hold their own in the Super League?
Eddie, it's getting up into Super League, but the sides will change anyway. They'll still recruit top-line players. You've seen the amount of money that, especially Toronto, has spent over the past couple of years, signing and paying big money, not only in transfers, but contracts for some of these players.
I think those mid-eights are going to be really interesting this year. These are two extremely strong and likely contenders for the mid-eights, definite contenders, I think we can probably say, even at this early stage. And there are some cracks appearing at the bottom end of Super League as well. Could be very, very interesting come July and August.
Ford with a high kick. It has been pointed out to me once already today that if Toulouse were to lose this match here against Toronto and London Broncos won tomorrow, because of the Broncos' superior points difference, the Broncos would be in second place in the table. So stakes are high.
And Toulouse only 3 league points behind Toronto, so it's not saying it's a must-win game, but it's a game that they'll be wanting to win to finish at the top end of the table. Glorious
day here in Newcastle, and I hope they've all got the sunscreen on, because the sun is really hot today. 26 minutes gone. Toulouse ping for offside at the play the ball. And of course, this is a great spring festival, all sorts of colours. Later on, I'm sure we'll see all sorts of fancy dress costumes as well, because not only is this a rugby league day, I'm sure there are 1 or 2 big parties.
Terry's not due in studio for another couple of hours, though.
Was down the fan zone before. It was a great atmosphere.
Move on to there.
And Scott Quinnell is here with the fan van out and about around Newcastle.
Goal 3.
He's been all over the world, has Scott Quinnell, but he's enjoying this magic weekend, and he'll certainly enjoy his old club Wigan when they come on against Warrington. He'll be actually in the studio for the build-up to that. Here now is Briley, hoists a kick to that far side.
Oh, well taken.
Well claimed over there, and I think it's a penalty because it was tackled in the air.
Yeah, rightly so as well.
And
some of these I think have been given too harshly, but you can see there's a disadvantage there to the receiving player. Centroni's done extremely well to take that, deserves the penalty too.
John, what's it like standing underneath one of those balls when they're coming down, there's 3 players running at you?
It's really difficult because if the kick is accurate as it was from Briley, you are rooted almost. You feel it very difficult to get off the floor. It's a skill that is extremely hard because it's counterintuitive. You've got to try and...
Well, all the matches coming up for you later on from the Magic Weekend. Widnes Saints, Wigan, Warrington follows that, and then a repeat of last year's grand final to see off the first day. Scott Cornell will be involved in that Wigan-Warrington match with us, and then, as I say, repeat of the grand final. Castleford against Leeds finishes it off at 7:15. All on Sky Sports Arena here this afternoon and this evening. I thought that was a rhetorical question you asked, John Wells, about what's it like being under a high ball on the wing. Did he ever get underneath a high ball on the wing?
Several. Not always with the right outcome.
I was going to say, did you ever catch a few?
I've got some old footage. I'll share it with you later.
I thought you were going to say I've got a few old wounds. It's a good contest, this, to kick off the Dacia Magic Weekend 2018.
Big 12 minutes here for both sides as well, because another try from Toulouse, it'll give them an extra lift. A try from Toronto just puts that doubt going into half-time in the Toulouse side.
Worthington takes it forward. Over 150 first-team appearances for him since 2011. Solid tackling coming in. It's Heppy again. And well played by Worthington. Oh, but then he comes up with a knock-on. He's got his foot to it. You can see how distraught the youngster is. He's only 18 years of age.
Oh, he did the hard bit as well, Ed. You know, took the pace off the ball and then just misjudged the little bobble, and he's put them under pressure. I was just about to say that Toulouse had looked to have gathered themselves and had looked a lot more composed. Yes, Toronto are still making plenty of meters downfield, and they're ending sets on the front foot, which is buying an awful lot of time for the likes of Briley and McCrone. But Toulouse, they're really warm into this game. It's these little errors that are putting them under unnecessary pressure. Have a look at Gareth O'Brien, his position off this scrum. I think he'd be a really key involvement off here.
Thank you, Walter, thank you.
There he is, he's lying in wait in centre field. Is Gareth O'Brien. And you mentioned earlier on the big and the heavy investment that they've made in Canada. They've just signed Cronulla's Ricky Lutelli for 2019. And the reports are over $1 million in 2 years.
Absolutely outstanding centre.
This is Patterson. And chances here for Sidlow. And Sidlow getting to the line, and Toulouse straining every sinew to push him back into the field of play. Bezic, good ball. Dixon! And Dixon spins away from the would-be challengers. And Dixon gets over the line. I think he left Tyler Heppy trailing in his wake. Heppy just couldn't bring him down. Happiness for the Toronto supporters who are here. And I saw a few cars coming into the car park today with Toronto Wolfpack stickers on them.
Well, I don't think for a minute they're coming from Canada, but they're everybody's second team, aren't they? It's the mistake from the youngster Worthington that set them up. It's harsh, it's always harsh when these are capitalised upon, and it's Jonathan Ford who just goes too high, gets on the wrong side of Dixon. But credit to the Toronto back rower, because he spins out of that tackle. There's a fend there as well, and he puts the sending off of 7 days ago well behind him with what could be a really significant score for the Wolfpack.
Well, he's been to a grand final, has Andrew Dixon. He's got a try for Saints in the 2010 grand final defeat to Wigan by 10 points to 22. And I wonder whether Andrew Dixon and this Toronto Wolfpack side will claw their way into Super League in only the end of their second season in existence. What an achievement that would be.
Been absolutely incredible.
I know they spend bundles, but you know what I mean.
Well, to assemble a side that can play, and let's be honest here, that the majority of teams in the Championship and the Championship 1 have been envious of what they've been doing, and Paul Rowley, Simon Finnegan have done a very good job assembling a side, and not only just assembling a side that actually wants to go out there and play and entertain.
Well, I think that's the key point as well. Just spending money and throwing money at something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to create a team. We've seen that mistake made several times before in Super League. So there's credit there to Brian Noble and to Paul Rowley for forming a team out of those individuals, and some superb individuals as well.
I think we just better temper the news we gave you before about Vitelli from Cronulla. It is being reported on the websites. Reportedly, he has signed for Toronto from Cronulla. But normally, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Eddie, I'm going with your news flash. That is nailed on for next year. Well, Dixon there, he scores the try and he spots Jonathan Ford. And if you look at Jonathan Ford's legs and feet when he tries to prevent that tackle, his legs and feet are too wide. He's got no power in trying to stop the big man from going over.
His starting position wasn't great either, was he? Found himself, the legs and arms were splayed because he found himself in the wrong position, on the wrong shoulder. It was nicely finished by Dixon. Kick off into the sun again from Toulouse. It's important that they respond now.
It is. We missed the conversion. So it's only a 10-point lead. Just over 8 minutes to the half-time siren. Liam Kay gets the ball away.
Well, that's what I like about Liam Kay. Like the back three for Toronto in Gareth O'Brien, Matty Russell, Liam Kay. Liam Kay actually plays, likes to link up, just doesn't scoot from dummy half or catch the ball on the full and just run into a defender. He actually does look to engage the defenders and help one of his teammates.
Move! 4. Go. 4.
Quick play the ball's what it's all about. Bezic gets the pass away again to Andrew Dixon. They've reached tackle number 5, getting through the set very quickly. There is Briley. Oh, that went out on the full.
Touch.
Well, it looked like it went out on the full from up here, but the touch judge was certainly closer to it than I was. But it's out on the full.
Yeah, should have been a handover instead of the scrum.
No video referee, remember, so no one can have a little word in the ear of Scott McCluskis, but the touch judge was very close to that.
They all seemed very quick, didn't it? Tackle 3, 4 and 5. The early players that they won them quite easily, really, and then the next carries were all on the front, and then Ryan Briley gets that ball, and that's too quick for the touch judge and referee.
And that's the salient point, isn't it, Terry? That they're now visibly playing on the front foot. They've got more time. They can pick their lines of running. The kickers can assess the backfield, and notwithstanding the poor execution they've got away with there with Ryan Briley, they're looking like the dominant side now. It's an important 5. What we got? 7.5 minutes left before half-time for Toulouse. Cannot afford another score. Would like to get one back themselves.
We're watching two sides here who really have blazed the trail, particularly in the League One programs over the past 2 years. We'll see them both again next week in the Summer Bash in Blackpool, day 1, day 2, Saturday, Sunday next week, bank holiday weekend. Big weekend for the championship clubs. Bartow gets this ball away. In the 2016, they were unbeaten in 21 rounds in League One with Toulouse. They did draw at Rochdale. They won the other 20.
Good line speed. Needed here.
Chase Stanley will have a scamper from dummy half.
Said he's as big and as strong as most forwards. Him over 100 kilo, Chase Stanley.
Another one from NRL pedigree. Macron with a nice little layoff ball to Krasnicki. Here is Ashton Sims again. Bump, big collision then.
4. Move, Tyler!
Tyler Heppy, though, stood his ground. It's Briley. Briley slips the pass. It's Blake Wallace. No, it's Andrew Dixon, I beg your pardon. There is Briley. And Briley, the kick this time, straight into the arms of Worthington.
Well, a couple of times he's tried to just knock the ball out of the field over on the right-hand side. Just let his teammates walk to the scrum and just compose themselves, get ready for a big defensive set. I think he's changed his game since he's gone to Toronto. Penalty here again.
I think there's also a recognition by Briley that his side, as big and as aggressive as they are flagging a little in the heat. And that'd be certainly one of the reasons why you'd look to find touch, take the rhythm out of this game. And that's, could play into Toulouse's hands. They've backed that up with an error, which would suggest there is some fatigue there. Certainly defensively with his side.
Well, they're behind on the scoreboard, Toulouse Olympique, but they're leading the penalty count 8-4. And this is Reece Curran for them. and who began at West Tigers. As Heppy takes the ball forward again. Right in the middle of the park, centre field. Toulouse looking for something in the last 4.5 minutes of this first half. Jonathan Ford gets the pass away. It's Corella. We know the danger that he poses. There's 3 of them there to bring him down. This now is Buzniak. Collared by Bezic. Corella again. 5-6 metres away. Ford. Good ball. Picked up by Barthau, and then a misunderstanding. The ball goes to ground.
Ball pass. Okay, we're going here. Time off. Yeah.
Referee Scott Mcklauskis is giving head and feet to Toronto here.
So it's your...
Yeah,
Was
another
it
error.
a knock-on either way?
No, I think it's called a knock-on against Toulouse, followed by a forward pass from Toronto.
But it's another error in the execution when they did have numbers. They did have something brewing on that Toronto left edge. Doesn't look all that convincing. A couple of times that Jonathan Ford has been going, he's got a really lax, loose style, hasn't he, with his hands, and he's quite deceptive. But it's getting out there, and it's the lack of finesse in their execution that's letting Toulouse down at the moment.
Got quality though, Ford. 2016 League One Player of the Year, reigning Toulouse Player of the Year. Cook Islands International in the 2013 World Cup. He really is the engine room of this Toulouse side.
Oh, it's quality, Eddie, but he just needs some quick rucks, doesn't he, to play off. It's very difficult when you're up against the dominant side that's turning the players onto the back. Trying to come up with a play on the back of that is difficult.
Nice ball from Sidlow to McCrone. He then asks for the runner to come back on the inside, which he did, Gareth O'Brien. He plays it then to Bezic. And this now is Krasnicki again. They're going down that left-hand channel once again. McCrone, he knows how close they are to half-time, just drills the ball all on the ground. And there'll be in no hurry, either side, I think, to form this scrum and get the referee to call time off. It's boiling hot out there.
Well, Josh McCrone knows how important it is now not to concede a try before half-time. Just ask some questions in defence down there to lose his line. I think when you look at Josh McCrone since he signed for Toronto, it took him time to settle in the way that they played, and you look at the NRL, quite structured, get through your sets, all about completions. Well, this Toulouse side are a side that do play direct, like to respect the ball, but do chance their arm as well.
What would they give for a try here as we approach half-time?
Move! Come on, Chase! Go one.
That was Marguerite who played the ball.
2. Move all set!
Toronto desperate to keep them down this end of the field. A bit of laying on there by Krasnicki as well. This is Sangaré. Only played 14 times, Justin Sangaré, in the past 2 seasons. Buzinac gets the pass away once again. That's knocked out. Should be 6 to go. It is. Sangaré, referee signals to him. That's the 0 tackle. So 6 more from here.
Thought he was going to kick it then.
Looked like it, didn't it, for a moment? Barthau
1.
gets them over halfway.
Go 1.
So Toulouse in possession now inside the Toronto half of the field with Marion. 12 metres inside Toronto territory. Jonathan Ford again. Good hands. Good pass out wide. Here is Worthington. The young Wiganer on loan. Enjoying, I'm sure, even though it's been brief, the lifestyle in the south of France. Ford again. Dropped a neat pass off once and more, and that's a great try for Marion. And there were question marks about that defence from Toronto then. Anthony Marion, formerly with Albi. Utility back, on as a substitute. And I wonder if that is the family of Sylvain Houles and his wife. They're celebrating anyway because they're back within 6 points and might be within 4 by half-time.
And shouldn't they be celebrating as well? Looking very much like they're going to be winning a score, and that's the repeat set. And Jonathan Ford, who you got a quick glimpse of there, this is where he's at his very best. Look how relaxed he is going to the line. You know, plays the ball very, very late back on the inside. And caught the Toronto defence just off their heels a little bit. Lovely relaxed style, can be really deceptive A nice fence, gets rid of Dixon, and isn't he pleased? It's a really, really significant time to score and a really significant try in itself.
And this is a big kick now for Mark Carella. He's already kicked one successfully today. This will be, for him, the 70th of his season. But more importantly, it puts Toulouse within 4 points as we're in the last minute of the first half. He's missed it. He's sliced it wide. The referee has given it, and so have the touch judges. I'm sure that, Miss Stewart. Of my eyes, I mean, these glasses are about £1.50.
You need better glasses, Eddie.
Well, we're right behind it, aren't we? Right behind the line of it, and that clearly missed to the right-hand side of the post. So whether the sun's in the eyes of the touch judges, but if they put their flags up, the referee has to give it.
Eddie, go and take your cheap glasses and maybe give them to the touch judges. That's what you need to do.
Wow, that's the view we saw. But the referee, as Stewart says, he had no choice, did he? He had to give it once the touch judges had given the two flags had gone up.
Yeah, if it's a split decision between the touch judges, then the referee decides. That's a system. It's a system that works well. But if both touch judges put their flags up, he has to give it.
Okay.
Well, that's an element of luck for Toulouse. Curran gets the pass out wide once again.
And makes it an interesting second half as well,
Makes it a
Eddie.
fantastic second half. Here is Curran once more. Carella into Sangaré, and Sangaré will take the final tackle of the first half. And Toronto, the leaders, are 4 points ahead against Toulouse, the team in second place. Kay with the first try. Russell on his debut for Toronto Wolfpack. They led 12-0. Then the comeback began. 18th minute, Kouache with the try. Dixon got a try, not converted on the half hour. 16-6, and right on the stroke of half-time, Marion's try, and Carella, well, credited with the conversion. 16-12 at the break.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
When you have the right technologies, you will always find a way. The award-winning Micra, the tech-advanced small car by Nissan. The Nissan Micra Acenta is now available from £149 per month at 0% APR representative. Search Nissan Micra or visit your local dealer to find out more.
What should we do first?
What do you want to do first? You go.
When we get there, I'm gonna jump right in.
That's how you do it. You know? I'll give you a hand. Where's
So order.
On average, one man dies every 45 minutes of prostate cancer in the UK. A dad, granddad, brother, uncle, husband, friend, and men like Mark. That's why we need your help. This June, take part in Prostate Cancer UK's March for Men. Every step brings us closer to beating prostate cancer. Sign up now.
Alexa, read us a bedtime story.
Once upon a time, there was a horse. A magical horse.
Bing!
That could fly.
Flap, 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 flap. Alexa, it's showtime.
Okay.
Alexa, play pop playlist.
That was a great speech. Now the herd will follow us without question. Damn, like sheep. He thinks he has us like lambs to the slaughter. Right, guys?
Red Bull gives you wings. Sky Box Sets lets the money do the talking.
If you want to make money, climb aboard.
And right now, my dream's all about deals and dollars.
Do we have a deal?
Come get me.
All in. He's an icon of the wealth of our age, and he is a fraud.
What have you got to lose?
Drama you can bank on.
Worth it.
Available now on Sky Box Sets.
England are back on home soil with a huge summer of cricket about to unfold. There's sessions to win, wickets to fall, centuries to be made.
Extraordinary innings.
England's Test Series v Pakistan starts Thursday at 10.
What a game, what an atmosphere.
Part of an unmissable weekend on Sky Sports.
You've got to grind the team down.
It's day one of the 2018 Magic Weekend, live from St James's Park, Newcastle. And coming up, we have witnessed St Helens, Wigan, Warrington and Castleford Leeds. 2:45 p.m. start. Last game kicks off at 7:15. Sky Sports Arena and main event are the channels. That is the Betfred Super League. The Betfred Championship round 14 clash between Toronto and Toulouse is currently taking place. It's half-time and Toronto lead by just 4 points. In a first half, you would say they dominated. Could have scored very early through. Liam Kay didn't. They'll go into the dressing rooms at half-time. You would feel happy to be in front on the scoreboard, but maybe questioning why they're not further in front. Paul Rowley addressing his side, who have certainly improved their discipline from last week in the Challenge Cup defeat to the Warrington Wolves. Something they said they would do, and they have. Sylvain Houlais speaking to his Toulouse side. They came into the game with plenty of injuries, would have put up a magnificent fight in that first half. As I said, boys, only 4 points in it, but Toronto, Phil Clark, scoring first after Liam Kay had bombed a try, and it was Kay that got over.
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, just like they did last week in the Cup, they started the game particularly strongly and accurate. I mean, they convert the chance well here. There's a one-on-one strip, and I suppose the golden rule is to play to the whistle, which is what Liam Kay does and got over for the first try. And they looked powerful, they looked completely in control. There was a fear when the second try was scored that this could run away here and we could see a 40 or 50 points scored as Russell goes over on the right, but we soon saw some sort of a comeback.
12-0 at that stage, John. It was important that Toulouse did get over.
Yeah, and it really impressed me, did Crush, the try scorer from dummy half. What happened? They let themselves down, though. Just some execution here. This was a play that broke down because of obstruction, and that's been something that's peppered this Toulouse attack throughout the first half of the game. They backed it up when needed, though, with some crucial defence at times.
Andrew Dixon then scoring, Phil, to blow it out to push it out to 16-6. Jonathan Ford again caught out in defence. However, Terry made this point in commentary, in attack he's sensational.
Well, they've been good. I tell you what I've liked about Toulouse, they seem willing to keep the ball alive. I know they didn't intend to do then, but there have been some late offloads, and this is lovely pass here. You'd be critical though when Eddie asked the question about the standard of defence, whether that is at Super League level. I didn't think it was there for Toronto. They seem to fatigue in the dying stages.
Oh, this is the first bit of magic you will see this weekend. Conversion missed, but given. So a 4 points becomes 6 for Toulouse.
An optical illusion,
Well,
Brian.
that's it. It is the Magic Weekend. Guys, I'm looking at that scoreline. I'm wondering how Toulouse are just 4 points behind Toronto. Another way of looking at it, why Toronto aren't further in front.
Well, Toronto will be frustrated, I would imagine, because they've had clearly the most dominant of the two sides. That they've let themselves down with a little bit of an ill discipline around the ruck in defence. When they are in the right end of the field and the ball goes through Briley and O'Brien's hands, I think they look a class apart. But I'm really enjoying watching Jonathan Ford play. I think he's got a really relaxed style about him, and that can be really deceptive when a player like that's prepared to go to the defensive line and start to pull defenders out of the way. So it's how valuable that it's intriguing because how valuable that added 2 points, that gift of 2 points from the boot of Corella will be after 80 minutes is I'm fascinated to see.
As Stuart explained in the commentary, because the touch judge raised their flags, the referee is obliged to give the conversion, even though he may have seen it as missed. Phil, I'm looking at Toulouse here, and I'm thinking if they get more chances near Toronto's line, they're going to cause them huge trouble. They can shift the ball. John's pointed out that one of their attacks broke down because of obstruction. Could have easily been a try. There may be a pass away from completing it plenty of times.
I would agree with that. It felt to me like the tortoise and the hare, this sort of fable, didn't it, where Toronto set so strongly, but maybe I think through, again, their own ill-discipline, sometimes technical and sometimes behavioural, wasn't it? They've conceded penalties, and that has invited Toulouse back into the game. The atmosphere is strange. None of the supporters in the ground know which team to cheer for, so they're almost a bit quiet, really, not so sure who to shout for, but I think it's going to liven up in the second half, and we're going to be a thrilling finish to this match.
We have some of the players' children in the stands just behind us here. Chase Stanley's kids, Corey Patterson's kids, and Ashton Sims. I'm asking them the scoreline. They said it's going to be 36-16 to Toronto. Perhaps not surprising that they took Toronto. How do you see this second half going? Do you see Toronto walking away with it?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think there's a real composure and coolness about this Toulouse side that I actually didn't see in the opening 10 or 15 minutes. They've really warmed into this game. They're not a team that's prone to panic. And as we're learning a little bit more about them and the way that they're set up and the input from their coach, Sylvain Hules, I think a couple of breaks and they could really push this to the wire.
Well, you only need to look at that league table we showed before. They've got a better points for and against than the Toronto side. That means over the games they've played in the first half of the season, probably they're a better side. Whether they can show it here now is a test. They are missing a few key players, but I've really enjoyed watching them. And the pressure, I think, is on the Toronto side. So much hype, so much expectation. And should they stay close, then they might get a bit nervous.
Yeah, the Toronto side have put pressure on themselves as well coming into this match following that Challenge Cup defeat to Warrington. They are here from all over the country. These two men have forsaken the royal wedding to be here at Magic Weekend in anticipation of the 3 Betfred Super League games that we have got coming up for you. Though first, we have the second half of the Betfred Championship game between Toronto and Toulouse. At half-time, it's a 16-12 lead to the Canadians, but the French side very much in this match.
Lunch, dear?
Great Taste of America is back at McDonald's. The Chicago Stack.
Oh, what's that?
2 beef burgers,
Oh, right.
bacon, 2 cheeses, with a sumptuous steakhouse barbecue sauce. Fancy it?
Sounds lovely.
Great Taste of America is back at McDonald's. Go all out for the meaty Chicago Stag. Available until the 29th of May.
You press the allow and now we'll see if you're a veg, which one you be. But in return we get to know a lot. We're collecting all your info and we're sharing everything, so strangers know about the rash you got. Enjoy yourself, but check your settings to make sure that you're not letting stuff be shared you'd really rather not.
Visit Barclays to discover ways that you can take control of your personal data.
By the way, you're an onion.
Because nighttime. Because babysitter. Because, remember this? Because places to be and be seen. Because letting go. Because our time. Because hybrid. Because sometimes the only reason you need is because. Toyota CHR.
Home is where the heart is. Home sweet home. Mi casa es su casa. Yeah. Now, they don't say any of this about work. Why do you think that is? Because home is incredible, right? My work here is done. Well, it's never done, but I'm gonna take a break.
When home really matters. Sofology. Feel at home on a sofa you love.
Ready?
Ready.
Alexa, turn on the lamp.
Okay.
Oh no! Daisy! Alexa, what's the weather like on Mars? Alexa, cancel my 6 a.m. alarm.
6 a.m. alarm cancelled.
Oh. Alexa, show me automatic cat feeders.
Here are some popular ones.
The European Tour returns for the 2018 BMW PGA Championship, part of an unmissable weekend, live on Sky Sports.
Pakistan will turn up today, we shall see.
What a moment.
This summer, see England take on Pakistan, Australia and India live on Sky Sports Cricket.
We're all set for the first ball.
What a shot.
Sky Sports Cricket, where stories start.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
The Magic Weekend, we're not into the Betfred Super League yet, we're into the Championship, and tomorrow it continues on, and what a fantastic menu we have for you throughout the course of the day on Sky Sports Arena and main event, you'll notice. St George Illawarra against Canberra at 5 from the NRL, followed by Cronulla and Canterbury at 7, and then we're back inside St James's Park for the Super League. Salford Catalan, Wakefield Huddersfield, Hull KR Hull FC. Vital matches for all of those clubs tomorrow, right here live on Sky Sports. Well, many congratulations to Harry and Meghan. They've come up all the way from Windsor to be here for the Magic Weekend. The patron, of course, of rugby league. Why wouldn't he be here on his wedding day?
Okay, Matt, when you're ready. Go.
And next year we'll have cardboard cutouts of Barry and Terry. In fact, we have them already, and he's alongside me now. Terry.
Well, nothing in that game in the first half, Eddie. Thought it was really interesting to see how that Toronto acted or reacted when that kick was given just before the half-time. Paul Rowley, Simon Finnegan questioning the referee just as he was walking off the field. So obviously Toronto are a bit rattled with Toulouse know now that they have got them in the sights, just 4 points behind. I'm sure they're going to be full of confidence as well here.
Well, I'm sure that Paul Rowley will be upset, and all the Toronto officials will be upset by the fact that that conversion was given. But the fact of the matter is, as Stuart told us, once the touch judge's flags go up, the referee has nowhere to go.
No, it doesn't. I think it's not going to pay to dwell on that, is it? They've just got to move on, and they've clearly been the more dominant of the two sides for the first 40 minutes. They just need to go on and push on now. They've got some great ball players. Macrone's had a quiet first half. They've got Briley on that right edge as well. O'Brien from fullback. There's a side chop with talent, but ball playing talent as well. They can sort the running lines out. They're going to pose a real threat to Toulouse in this next 35 minutes.
There's Nicky and Ashton Sims dealing with the threat of Adair. Solid runs all the way down the middle from Toulouse. That latest one coming in from Tyler Heppy.
Outside.
Could have been
and
a penalty.
Ford with a nice kick over the top.
Could have been a penalty, Eddie, for a grapple tackle. Tyler Heppy was looking at the referee, but nothing came of it.
This is Liam Kay as Toronto come back at the Toulouse Olympic side. Let's find out what was said during half-time. I wonder how upset Paul Rowley was about that conversion, Ange.
I think the word fury sprang to mind as I followed them up the tunnel. There were a few words said to the officials before they went into the changing room, and a lot of shrugged shoulders and raised eyebrows, but he came out after the break and said, this is Paul Rowley, the coach, we've got to control what we can control. They learned a lot, they said, from last week in that game against Warrington. They've got to make sure that they keep the focus on the game, stick to the game plan, and completion is the big thing for them, and not to worry about those 2 points. I did ask Sylvain Houlez what he thought about those 2 points, and he laughed and said maybe we were a little bit fortunate there, but he's looking for better execution from his team, especially around the ruck.
That's a nice little slip pass. Here is Greg Worthington.
5.
He'll get to his feet here on the last and play the ball to Bezic, who comes down the short side. O'Brien gets it away to Liam Kay. I think has he got this in the corner? Has he touched it down? Yes, he has. It's a second try for Liam Kay. He got the very first try of the match. He's got the very first try of the second half.
Well, it's a brave call, is this one.
There's no problem with this. The way he finishes that's a try. Try all day, John. You disagree?
Yeah, I do.
Well, there's no video referees, remember, so it's what they see is what they give.
He scores some good tries, Liam Kay. Makes over 100 metres every time he carries the ball. Knows how to finish. Is his arm up? Is his arm up? Is his arm up? Oh, he loses the ball. John Wells.
and the boos around the ground tell everybody what they think about that.
Wow.
And Crayler's got away with nothing there, has he? No look at all. I think he's been instrumental in defence for them, and he's just not got the break. Tries awarded.
Stuart, there are a lot of people who criticise the video referee, and there is a clear case of why the video referee is vital.
Well, that's it. I was watching the officials when they're going through the process of awarding the try. You would never think, looking at them, that there was any doubt about it. They were very confident in the way they give it. But we can see, you know, from the replays that he clearly lost the ball.
So they nicked 2 points with a refereeing decision. They've just lost.
So they're 2 points up, aren't they?
The 2 points down now, aren't they? On the net 2 points down.
Yeah, I'm saying Toronto 2 points up here. They've still got another 2 to go here. Come on, get with the programme, Wellesley.
Ryan Briley with this difficult conversion attempt. Oh, and he has rubbed salt in the wounds. 22 points to 12. And as I say, no video referee in operation here today for the Betfred Championship. Apart from the Summer Bash, the video referee is not used in the Championship, and it would be grossly unfair to use it today. And a bit of news in the Summer Bash next weekend, we're going to be looking at a streamlined video referee operation. We'll say more about that during the course of the weekend, possibly, but certainly we'll tell you all about it next weekend. But no video referee in this match today, but there will be video referees, of course, in the Betfred Super League later.
A streamlined.
Streamlined.
Has Ben Thaler been on a diet?
I think Steve Ganson has.
Well, there you go. A call that's gone against either side, but it's cost the Toulouse club a lot more. 4 more points. And Ford comes out of the line again. Whether they're short or whether there's just no communication over there, they've got to make sure they get that right.
I noticed when they were lining up, Ryan Briley was lining up that conversion attempt, Toulouse were in a huddle and they were talking and they were winding each other up to try and get back into this match. They know the call had gone against them. Nothing they can do. Couldn't control it. What they can control is what's happening out there in the field right now.
That's it, Eddie. You can control the controllables. Like you've got to make sure that when you have the ball, you do all the right things. You turn up for your teammate whenever he's carrying the ball at the line. You've got to make sure that he's got options inside and out. Josh McCrone now knows that he's going to have a reaction. Paul Rowley has rode a bit of luck to get that try. He knows as well, though, that Toulouse are going to have a big part to say in this second half, whether it be for a 10-minute, 15-minute spell, and they have got a couple of tries in them. As I said at the start of the game, they scored more points than any other team in the Championship, so they do know how to get over the try line.
Liam Kay, by the way, now looking for his 4th try hat-trick of the season in the next 35 minutes or so, as Toulouse try and bring this ball forward again with Justin Sangaré, French under-18 international prop forward. William Bartow.
Need a load of energy here. The Toulouse players getting forward. Maybe it's the route one or the little show and go like we just saw there.
He's not bad, Marianne. Not the best play of the ball. Riash gets it away to Ford. Ford gets it wide to Adair. Lovely pass. And well picked up by Worthington. Worthington had just overrun it, but he managed to put the brakes on. Here's Ford with a high kick now. And that really is an up and under. No problem, though, for Liam Kay. Until Marianne got in his face.
Well, it was a good attacking kick, wasn't it? And Kay had to run for that ball, but there was no Toulouse player really challenging that ball. They didn't get the depth, so they could have, with the onside chase, there was just nobody there. That probably wasn't good enough for what the coach was after.
Bartow again. He was at London in 2015. William Bartow, as well as playing for the Catalan Dragons. Briley gets it wide. And Dixon will pick himself up and play the ball to Briley again. Chase Stanley gets it wide to Russell, and Russell's pass goes backwards off Rhys Curran, so that's a play-on decision from Scott Michalauskas, the referee.
Massive intervention by Rhys Curran, because that was a try. It was a try in waiting. He's put himself in exactly the right place. Russell looking to pass back on the inside. And I think Toronto go in there, and it's 26 or 28 points to 12. That's a very difficult position to come back with. Huge defensive play there by Curran.
That's Good play from him. The Australian. Second rower, Rhys Curran.
This is what I like about this Toulouse side. They've had some real luck go against them with the try being awarded. They've been able to put that to rest and crack on. And really now, they've not had 10 out of 10 sets, but they've not been errors at the end of them either.
With a high kick here, this time down the left-hand side from Barthau. Well claimed by Worthington. Worthington dinks the ball up and over the top of the defenders, but Corey Patterson comes to the rescue for the Toronto Wolfpack. Now, after this, next week's Summer Bash meeting against Lee, they do look odds-on to repeat their table-topping year in League One last season. The rest of their programme, as I said earlier in the first half, will be played in Toronto at the Lamport Stadium. Providing the pitch is sorted out, because that's why they've been playing mostly over here in 2018. This is a good run from Bob Bezic, and he's got support there from McCrone. It's a good ball to Ryan Briley, and Ryan Briley goes underneath the sticks for a crucial Toronto try. And suddenly the hill becomes a mountain for Toulouse now in this second half.
It was just a slow unravelling of that Toulouse defence. Toronto continuing to probe, and Terry, some real key involvements there from Bezic and McCrone in assisting Ryan Briley with his try.
I remember Bob Bezic coming through the system at Wigan as a youngster, and he's always been one of those intelligent players from dummy half. He spots a big man who can't quite get back. He gets out of dummy half, terrorises the defence. You can just see you rock back, you turn the wrong way, the offload's there for McCrone, who all he's got to do is then draw the full-back. And I think this man who scores the try, Ryan Briley, he's always been a threat whenever he's got the ball, but he's changed the way that he plays. He goes at the line. He really has become an attacking player.
He has, Ryan Briley. When he moved from Lee to Huddersfield, we thought he'd set the Super League alight, and it didn't quite happen for him. So he's rediscovering himself in the Championship once again, and if they get into Super League next year, perhaps we'll see the best of him.
And an older and more mature Ryan Briley as well. I think one of the key things with him is knowing when to throw himself into that line, that attacking line. Arguably tried to do too much, tried too hard in his time at Huddersfield. He looks a more relaxed, more composed, more accomplished player now. And of course he was under Paul Rowley at Lee, and he's under Paul Rowley at Toronto. I mean, a lot of players like to play for certain coaches, don't they? They do, yeah. Sometimes they have to find the team, they have to find the coach. But have a look at Briley stalking just on the right-hand side of your picture. It's great full-back play. He's not playing at full-back, but obviously he has some experience there. And as a top-quality half, he knows where that support play should be, put himself in that position.
So 28-12.
You just look at the pivots, Eddie, that they've got. Toronto, Gareth O'Brien, Josh McCrone, Ryan Briley, Bob Bezic. Some plays there that cause you an awful lot of problems. If the forwards can get over their opponents, keep the discipline, they'll trouble most sides. We saw the worst of them last week in the Challenge Cup, but this week I think when they turned up here, they knew they were going to be challenged, but they have got a point to prove.
Yes, Paul Rowley made that point, actually. Said he was very disappointed with the performance at Warrington. That ball has come free, but I think it was a two-man steal, it was. And he wants to right the wrongs of last week, and for a large part of this match here today in Newcastle, Toronto have righted the wrongs.
Well, I think another harsh penalty. Ada's almost been offered the ball by Ashton Sims on that one. It's a real pressure release.
I think that's a strip, that, John.
There's a responsibility there for the ball carrier to keep that in possession. I think it's a little bit of gamesmanship, perhaps, is that one. But he's earned himself 40 yards and a restart the tackle count.
First penalty of the second half. And this time it goes Toronto's way. Here he is, Ashton Sims. He's a rugged old pro. He's a wily old fox, is Ashton Sims. Here's Briley. Gets the ball away to Chase Stanley.
They've been really effective on the short sides, haven't they? Had all game first half that led to the Liam Kay first try. They're really moving this defence around.
Good ball wide. Liam Kay's on his way for a hat-trick. It's a hat-trick for Liam Kay, and there's nothing wrong with that one. The fourth try hat-trick of season 2018 now for Liam Kay. 19 tries for the season. The man who was in Super League with Wakefield in 2012. 9 tries in his last 4 matches. What a finisher.
Play what you see. Look at this. At the line, fixing defenders, all the halfbacks, all the key individuals, and that pass there, that absolutely nailed it.
That's a great finish from Liam Kay. But look where it started. There was a play, the play before, Briley with the man with the ball in their hands, took the ball short side. That opened up the defence. They got the numbers wrong. That led to the defenders shooting out of the line in Bastien Adair. And the ball found its mark to Liam Kay. Hat-trick today. He can finish.
Well, nothing wrong with that one. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Liam Kay. 27 tries in 21 for Toronto last year after leaving Lee. 2015 he got 36 tries in 32 matches. He's been ever present this year as well as Liam Kay. And as we've all said, he knows how to finish down this left-hand side. Looking down on the Toronto bench where they were a little bit upset at half-time because a conversion was given that shouldn't have been. They're much happier right now as Ryan Briley lines up this latest conversion attempt. 20 points they lead by. Ryan Briley has just pulled this the wrong side of the uprights. 32-12 it stays. Hat-trick for Liam Kay.
Well, when you have a lot of momentum like Toronto do, they are aware of the space, and Liam Kay is certainly one of those wingers who does find that space. When they throw the ball around, he certainly does know how to finish. And that ball from Josh McCrone, Liam Kay knows that he's got the speed to get in and score. He just needs to make sure that he's got the right, he's holding that right position, because his half-back partners will find him.
Hat-trick of tries, but one that never should have been given.
Yeah, the middle one was obviously that dodgy decision, and they've coughed up possession as well from the kick-off, Ed.
They have Toulouse back in possession here with Rhys Curran. And that was Bouzenac who was at dummy half. He got the pass away. Marion, try score in the first 40 minutes. 5 meters away from the Toronto line. Boyer was the dummy runner. Here is Marguerite. Marguerite almost through.
3.
Good job that passed the ball, held on to him. He's had the ball stolen from him. Hands in at the ruck again by Toronto. If and when they get to Super League, they've got to tidy this discipline up.
I said before, Eddie, 16 penalties last week. They really do leave that penalty away, knowing that Toulouse now trying absolutely everything to score to try and get back in this game.
Here they come with Boyer. The second spell at Toulouse for Clement Boyer, the 23-year-old. There's Bouzenac again, gets the pass away. It comes rather untidily to Marguerite. Liam Kay was fighting for the ball on the ground. Marguerite got to it first. Carella to Bouzenac. Here is Boyer again. 8 meters out from the line. Jonathan Ford. Can he open up this defence? Nice pass. Rhys Curran again. All hands to the pump defensively. They play the ball. Bouzenac, short pass. Chances here.
Release! 5.
And Bentley is halted. Bouzenac goes himself, and Bouzenac has pinched one from dummy half. Well, that's exactly what Toulouse wanted. That just might breathe life into them, because there's plenty of time left. 32-16, a long way back, but just what they needed, an early response.
Isn't it just? And two really smart hookers we've seen today. Bouzenac, the try scorer on this occasion. Remember the contribution from Cruache. Similar sort of player, stocky, but more importantly than everything else, are prepared to play what's in front of them. This is the penalty conceded by Toronto, which gave Toulouse an extended look at that line. Last tackle play. Defenders got to solve problems that don't exist yet. And Bouzenac, he takes the initiative. Look at the width of the defender there, and it's the gap between the two defenders that's exploited by the hooker. Two smart hookers who are prepared to play what they see, abandon everything else.
So here we go. Bouzenac with the try, and it's a man who has been around the French league, that Charles Bouzenac. Here's the conversion attempt, and he's kicked it well. So 56, 57 minutes gone, plenty of time left, 32-18, Toronto.
And it's a bit of a sucker punch, this. You're okay with teams scoring on the outside, but not coming through the middle. They conceded a try in the first half, exactly the same, and Kriyash just barged over. That won't please the coach. I'm sure that when you look back at this game, Paul Roll will be saying, yeah, lads, look, what we did with the ball was really good, but try-line defence has got to make sure we improve. When we're up against a couple of hookers that are always asking questions and looking to probe around the try-line, you've got to make sure you switch on.
Gareth O'Brien gets us back in play then. Now, they will play, I think, with a little bit of a spring in their step. Will Toulouse Olympique?
Well, nothing to lose, have they, Eddie? They've got just over 20 minutes. They're 14 points behind on the scoreboard.
Chris Centrone is dumped to the ground rather unceremoniously. The players, you know, of Toulouse met pre-season with no coaches present, and they resolved to set a goal for themselves of finishing either first or second in the Betfred Championship in 2018. At the moment they're second, but if they lose this, London, it opens the door for them.
It does temporarily, but this is I think it's a quality side. I think the most important attribute they've got is that they've got composure under pressure. It doesn't look like a side that's going to fold mentally. I think they've struggled with execution, particularly today, something that we've not seen an awful lot of from Toulouse in 2018. They've been fairly accomplished in attack. Just a couple of things that have not gone to hand, a couple of obstruction calls for them. They iron those out. They're a potent attacking threat.
And when you think, as I say, the big players who are not playing, Rapira, Con Mika, Eddie Petitborn, Stan Robin.
They're four big players, aren't they, that will certainly lift the side. Obviously, the likes of Con Mika, San Rapira, Eddie Petitborn really stiffen them up in the middle of the field, and probably you need those sorts of players to challenge the likes of Sam Hopkins, Corey Patterson, Ashton Sims, Jake Emmett. You need those battle-hardened pros.
A little bit of an indicator, though, of the way the Toronto season has gone this year. They've conceded 20 or more points only twice in the championship in 2018. Of course, they had the 66-point debacle last week for them at Warrington. But in the championship, they conceded 22 points in beating Toulouse in France over Easter, and they lost 16 points to 47 in their only defeat of 2018 at the London Broncos.
And if you think about them as well, every time that any team plays the top sides, whether it be in the Super League or the Championship, you always raise your standards because you want to beat the team that took the lead in the way.
Lovely offload there from Ashton Sims to Jake Emmett. Richard Whiting is out there now. A 33-year-old, made his name at Hull, who play tomorrow. This is O'Brien. O'Brien gets the pass away, but to the wrong colour jersey.
Oh, well done, Toulouse. Great defensive set. And again, when they were split on the last tackle, didn't panic. There wasn't a mad rush to the ball. Players kept their discipline defensively, spatially as well, and it's paid off for them.
You want to see that man with an open field, don't you, Corella? Played for Italy against Australia, scored a fabulous try. The fullback.
I think he was playing for France.
France, sorry.
In Australia.
Yeah, in Australia, sorry.
This is Bentley again. There's the ball there to Bouzanak. Here is Ford. Nice soft hands again. Here he goes, Corella. Flick pass out the back. Boyer picks it up. And a good job for Toronto that Hopkins was there, but they're coming forward again here with Bentley. Bentley, oh, it's a slack pass. Planas keeps it going miraculously. A miracle pass. But Chris Centrone caught in possession on tackle number 5. Turnover.
Well, just chancing their arm there. Yeah, they don't get the try. Look at this. Corella, when he goes through, he's looking for options. Nice inside ball as well to Boyer. Let's see what they're like in this set of 6 here.
Well, they don't get the desired result, but they're starting at the right end of the field. When you look at the clock, there's still a quarter of this game to go. Another try for Toulouse. In this sequence, Toulouse score next. They get a real sniff at this. It's important that Toronto do really well, and they are doing through Russell. Great break.
Look at this from Matty Russell. That's good feet, good run from Russell. Quick play the ball as well. Besic then gets it to Briley. Briley up and over the top forward. Surely a forward pass to Chase Stanley. Referee's going to give it. Stuart, from up here, that looked like it drifted forward. What say you?
It looked like it did, didn't it? It went from one side of the line to the other, which is a bit of a giveaway. But not given by the officials, and the tries awarded in the corner.
Well, Chase Stanley won't be arguing. Toronto maybe have had the gift of 2 tries, but look at this from Matty Russell. Well, that's why they paid the big money for him.
Well, he's hard to stop, isn't he, Matty Russell? Every time he carries the ball, he's very difficult. And there's the ball from Ryan Briley to Chase Stanley. When he throws that ball, I'm with you, I think it does drift forward. A man whose career's been hindered by some injuries, Chase Stanley. Fabulous player.
Well, it's 3 metres.
Yeah.
It started on the one side of the line and it went straight over the top of the whitewash.
So the second half, Eddie, they've had a couple of things that have gone against them, haven't they?
You play smart off the back of the structured play. We're fucking winning the game.
Conceded 2 tries. One from Kerr and that one from Chase Stanley. That could be a possible.
Stuart, I'm being screamed at. That was the momentum rule.
Oh, well, I would have said it came out of his hands. It did travel forward, came out of his hands forward and crossed that line.
What was that Nathan Brown said a couple of years ago? If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, probably is a duck.
That wasn't a duck, though.
No, that was a forward pass.
That's a very good point, that, Sugar. You get my point, don't you?
Stanley 3 in 5 in the championship now. 3 in his last 5 for Chase Stanley. Well, one was dropped, one that was a forward pass. Toronto will be thanking their lucky stars tonight, and they will be quacking all the way home. The conversion is missed. 36-18.
Well, the try stands. Ryan Briley's pass, he's not able to add the extra 2, but it's the ball here. This is the one that's controversial, but you know, I think on balance, Toronto, they've had the fair share of luck, haven't they? But they've had the skill as well to go with it.
I think sometimes you create your own luck, don't you? If you look like the dominant team that's doing what you want, probably you do get away with a few things.
You do. And of course, video referee or not, you can't go looking for forward passes.
I think the most important point from this is that they've got some real quality players of Toronto. They're making big statements out there across the leagues. Signings, rumoured signings. The work on the short side again.
He goes again now, Liam Kane. He's got support with him from Bezic, and Bezic has support with him from McCrone, and Bezic should have passed to McCrone. He would have been over the line. Now he has got it. McCrone into centre field. They've got men on the overlap wide. Has O'Brien gone the wrong way again? Coming back into centre field. This is Hopkins trying to muscle his way to the line. They just hold him up. No one there at dummy half. O'Brien in quickly. Briley goes for a one-pointer. Hits the post and goes over. How fortunate is that?
What did I say when luck's going for you? Well, Gareth O'Brien. Ryan Briley, sorry. Look at that. Slices it, hits the crossbar, and then straight between the uprights.
Well, it's your second piece of magic, isn't it? There's no way that was ever going over.
That is the scruffiest drop goal I've ever seen. He's under pressure as well, though.
Time's off.
Well, still counts, still 1 point, no matter how untidy it looks.
I think the point we were making before the break, and once again, by the way, on the short side, something that Toronto have exploited so well this half, is they've got some really good ball players, some really accomplished players in attack, able to defend as well. Short kick-off,
yeah,
diffused.
Little bit of cheekiness from Corella that never came off. It was a short kick-off. He went for the kick himself.
Well, they need the ball, don't they, as soon as possible. And you look at the scoreline, you think that they've been absolutely blown away to lose, but it's only in the last 15 minutes that they seem to have really gained dominance in this game.
Emmett will play the ball on halfway. Well, the confidence is up now. Here is O'Brien. O'Brien cuts back inside, gets the pass away. Is that Sidlow? Yes, it is. O'Brien, they've got men on. But they've lost the momentum. Whiting put it down, but Worthington picked it up and the ball went backwards. Here is O'Brien again, slides the kick in. The chasers are after this. The bounce is horrible, but they get a repeat set.
When you look at a Paul Rowley coach side, you always see when they have got the ball, the close support. It's not always about the big play to the winger. Oh, they've scored a couple of tries like that in this game. It's about the man pushing up, supporting the man who's carrying the ball. They get the kick, they get another set of 6. It's all about building pressure. Can't really do anything about that then. Quite difficult for Adair to get that ball and then get back in the field of play.
Well, Ryan Brierley needed to be about 8'6" tall to get that ball the way it bounced. But it's a lovely firm pitch. It's beautiful weather. It's what summer rugby league is all about today. I don't think Richard Whiting fancied that, but he's broken through and he's taking on the foot. Oh, he's waltzed through him, but good defending back from Bartow. Bezic quickly in a dummy half. Short ball. Sam Hopkins, good try. Good try from Toulouse. They're walking away with this now.
Eddie, from the drop-off, Sam Hopkins, he was the man who caught the ball and then tipped it onto a play, and all of a sudden it was an attacking set for them. Throwing the ball around. Whiting, when he gets the ball, he goes through, gets rid of a couple of Toulouse defenders. And this is what I'm talking about, Eddie. What's it like on the next play? Who's pushing up with the man who's carrying the ball? Nice little interchange, nice little tip on, and a committed run from Hopkins. When he comes crashing onto the ball, difficult man to stop between two players. More or less impossible for Toulouse.
Yeah, it's a great finish. End of the play. Toronto passed the 40-point mark, and the crowd, which I've said at this stage on day one, is bigger and more vocal than I have ever seen before. And I think maybe in part because of this curiosity from a neutral's point of view, just what Toronto are like to watch in the flesh. And they've proved a good example with it there. Past the 40-point mark and looking very impressive.
Indeed, 41-18, kick to come. It'll be 43-18 in a moment. Toronto certainly making a statement here today in the Betfred Championship, and of course back home in Toronto. Remember that it's a sporting mad city. The baseball, they have the Blue Jays and the Maple Leafs. The basketball, they've got the Raptors. The hockey, have got the Maple Leafs. They've even got a team called the Bradford Bulls in Toronto. They play junior ice hockey based in the city. But Paul Rowley telling me this week that each and every one of their remaining home games will be sold out, and fans come 7 hours in the car to come to Lamport Stadium and watch them.
Well, if they carry on putting on displays like this, which has been a lot more accomplished in the second half, then they're getting value for money, aren't they?
They're certainly giving value for money here. They're leaving 43 points to 18. And back in possession once again. Strong run from Sidlow. That's McCrone, who gives it to Richard Whiting. 2 spells at Hull, 258 appearances. Wonder if he's staying over to see his former teammates play Rovers tomorrow. Andrew Dixon now.
I don't think they finished there as well, Toronto.
No, they've got lots of time.
Yeah, they're all getting excited. You can see the amount of players that are pointing up and talking to the teammates. They know that when they've got the ball, they can cause some problems.
Oops. Loose pass. But they get it back. There was an air shot there.
Tackle 1. Time off.
And
Josh
he's hurt, is McCrone.
He just gets his legs caught underneath the man who's making the tackle. Josh McCrone gets bent backwards, just trying to walk it off, make sure that everything's okay, everything's intact.
Wait there, Josh.
See the defender just goes over the top of him, pulls him back down. It's Marguerite made initial contact.
I think that's a tackle that the match review panel might be interested in. So he sort of loses his legs and jumps into the tackle, which lands on the back of his legs. So could hear a bit more about that one.
Blake Wallace will play the ball there to Bezic. Here again is Sidlow. I think they have 50 points in their sights here, do Toronto. It'll be a little bit harsh on Toulouse, to be fair. They've played full part in this match so far. There is Briley again. Just hits the ball to that right-hand side. That's knocked on. Adair picks it up. No advantage, so they'll bring it back. It'll be the turnover on the last.
Well, the first reaction from Corey Patton, turning around to his teammates, say, come on lads, another set of 6 here. 10 metres from the line. There's only one way really they're going to go, and that's infield, so we can get tight. Good run from the winger, James Worthington, to get through the line then. Had to be a brave caddy for the 18-year-old.
Move, Rich! All set!
Puesh will take the ball forward. Plays it there to Riash, and that's a good ball from Ford. Here goes Rhys Curran again. Oh, lovely dummy. Gets the pass away scruffily, and that's a shame. Well, there's a little knock on, I think. Little knock on by Matty Russell. They might get the verdict here. Or was that a forward pass anyway? It was forward pass anyway, head and feet to Toronto.
Good line from Curran, back against the grain. He tries to get the ball around the Toronto player to his teammate. I think he's shown glimpses. He's Curran. Every time he's got the ball over on that left-hand side, whenever him and Jonathan Ford link up, hits a really good line back against the angle.
That's been the thing that's caused defences, caused Toronto's defence issues.
By the way, we're running the vote for the man of the match, the Betfred man of the match, on your Our League app. You can vote now on all your mobile devices, provided you have downloaded the site, Our League, the Our League app. And we can reveal that the legend picking this one is no one other than Chris Radlinski. We're outing you, Chris, today. Chris Radlinski of Wigan has picked the 4 names for the Betfred man of the match, and we'll give you the 4 names in a moment.
So is Chris one of the ones who's been picking the man of the match over the recent months then?
No comment. No comment. Hopkins coming forward again. Ball out down the right-hand side.
Not only did they come up with the big plays throughout this game, I think when you look at what the likes of Macron and Briley have done, they do take control, the game management from them to kick the ball out, knowing when they need to just sit back, just take some time in, make sure that they focus on what they've got to do. A big defensive set here, and you look at the Toulouse's body language and they look out on the feet. The second half, it's absolutely got away from them.
Corey, wait there, Rolsey.
Toulouse trying to work the ball away from their own half with Maxime Puesh. Well, the names for the man of the match vote, 4 of them: Bob Bezic of Toronto, Liam Kay, who scored the hat-trick, or did he? Matthew Russell, those 3 all of Toronto, and Jonathan Ford of Toulouse. So make your minds up right now. Bezic, Kay or Russell of Toronto, or Ford of Toulouse. Vote now on the Our League app, and you have got around about 6.5 minutes left to change the course of history here.
5.
Boyer now still not giving this game up. Some piece of magic here from Jonathan Ford, who's on the ball now.
Oh, and he gives the ball away in the end. He was under pressure, to be fair.
Well, Toronto seem to be not only attacking when they've got the ball, but also in defence as well. They're getting it right, very clinical. Whenever they make a decision to go in and try and jam a player who's carrying the ball, they nail him.
Well, Blackpool today, Blackpool next week, Newcastle today for these 2 sides in the Summer Bash. And there will be a 5-point gap opened up at the end of this between Toronto and Toulouse, and a golden opportunity now for London Broncos tomorrow to sneak into 2nd place in the Betfred Championship table. Hopkins again for the Wolfpack. 7.5 minutes remaining. Bezic, tip-on pass. Dixon, he's already got one, of course, in the first half. Bezic then to Sidlow. Back it comes from Bezic. Nice run again from Blake Wallace. So close. Last tackle coming up here. Whiting and Briley with a kick to the in-goal area. Oh, and it's not dealt with. In fact, there's a right collision there, and Worthington pulls away. They're both on the haunches, those 2 players. Ford and Worthington.
That's a breakdown in communication, isn't it? So it should always be a dominant call. You would have thought it would have come from the winger.
To be fair to Worthington, he's only been there 48 hours.
This is the I guess in mitigation for him. Jonathan Ford's a very dominant, experienced player, but he'll learn from that with Worthington. He's the one with the clearest view. He's the one with the clearest line to the ball, and that should be the dominant call.
It was a shallow goal line dropout. Toronto have it back 20 metres away from the Toulouse line. Here comes Hopkins. 12 metres out.
Hold. Come on, with me, roll around.
We'll play the ball here to Bezic. Down the right-hand side, Briley then, and this is Patterson. Patterson releases the pass, but Matty Russell couldn't take the ball in, flicks off his fingertips and goes out head and feet at the scrum here to Toulouse.
Oh, well done, young James Worthington. He was the one who got caught up with Ford again, who's the man in the tackle. And he brings down a bigger, more powerful man. He doesn't let go of him, forcing him into making the mistake. He was looking to get the ball on the inside to Corey Patterson, and that's what you want from a youngster. 18 years of age, you come up with an header, you get straight back into the action, and you come up with a positive contribution like he did then.
Heads in.
See what they've got now here, bringing the ball away. Bit of a dummy then from Jonathan Ford, trying to get his side a penalty.
Well, he's one of the 4 contenders for the man of the match, but at the moment, a hat-trick hero from Toronto, Liam Kay, is winning it with more than twice as many votes as everybody else. It looks like he's going to go home with 2 very valuable championship points.
It's been the field position that Toronto have had in this second half. They've really struggled for meters to get down into any good areas to attack. That's why Jonathan Ford, he stood up well in that first half. A lot of the key players were coming from him. The second half probably not had the foundations to play off.
Bentley in centre field. Here is Ford again, trying to skip around. A couple legs come up. That's a penalty.
That's a bad one, that. You can see that the way that he ended up, Jonathan Ford, he rolls over.
Oof, and right down on the top of his head as well.
He tries to roll through the tackle when he realised what position he was going in.
What's the criteria here, Stuart?
Well, it's obviously a dangerous tackle. The referee and touches will be considering whether they're going to take any further action. I think it'll be Bezic that's the one in trouble here. He lifted and he also applied pressure when he was in that dangerous position.
Bob!
Well, that's good to see. He's up. He's back on his feet.
Bob, come here.
And Bob Bezic being called by the referee. And he goes to the sin bin, and he immediately goes to Jonathan Ford and apologises. That's lovely to see.
Well, that's straight away. That's the mark of the man in the sport as well. You know when you go into a tackle, you get a couple of things wrong, and Bob Bezic is not a dirty player.
No.
He knew straight away that as soon as he'd lifted him up, and Jonathan Ford tried to roll through the tackle as well, when he tried to duck his head in as well to try and come out of it on the better side and not get hurt, but thankfully he's okay.
Well, the good thing from Bezic's point of view is that he can get first use of the showers. Mind you, there won't be any lack of hot water. This is a Premier League football ground, St James's Park.
One. Move on in.
Well, you never know by game 4, Eddie. When the curtain comes down, there could be call then.
I doubt it. Ford, nice little tip over the top. Here's Corella, back on the inside, it goes to Rhys Curran, and Toulouse get over for possibly the last try of the match. Maybe pure consolation, but an indication of what they can do against a tired defence.
It's great work from Ford. Recently on the deck, nursing a neck. He's got that long arm release, and it's Curran on the inside. I think he deserves a try. Another good line from him. Really well played from the back rower. No time wasted, adding the extra 2 as well from Corella. I think the game's done, Eddie, isn't it? But it's nice to see that there's some creativity in attack there, and nice to see Jonathan Ford back on his feet and contributing.
But for the second time this season, Toulouse scored 20+ points against Toronto, end up on the losing side.
Yeah, well, Curran, Ford and Corella, I think they've been very good over on that left-hand side, just Unfortunately for them, they've not had enough ball, they've not had enough position, but they certainly are a side that'll give it a crack in those qualifying 8s, and I'm sure some of the Super League sides at the bottom end of the table are looking at both of these sides thinking, yeah, well, do you know what, we've got to make sure that we're on in when we play against those. There's some very, very good players.
Well, 5 of the 6 teams involved in the Magic Weekend tomorrow, teams at the wrong end of the table or slipping possibly towards trouble. So yes, I'm sure they'll be looking at this, realizing that Toronto, come the qualifiers, will pose a few problems here and there.
And what you've got, Eddie, when you meet those teams from the Championship, you're meeting teams that are used to winning, whereas in Super League you're at the bottom of the table because you've been losing more than you've been winning. So the confidence in one group against the lack of confidence in another group.
I'm looking forward to the Summer Bash next week. It's Lee and Toronto. It'll be a return to play against his former club for Paul Rowley, which will no doubt add a little bit of spice to the event. Toronto versus Lee finishes up the Saturday night program next week at Blackpool. Here, this is the opening match of the Magic Weekend in the Super League, and it's the Super League that takes centre stage immediately after that. How about that from Jonathan Ford? Oh, what a shame, they put the ball down. Carella was on his way to the line, but it was invention from Jonathan Ford. Look at that.
Well, the game's gone, and that's what he's got in his kit bag, isn't it?
A lot of people say chips over the top never work.
Well,
they nearly did that.
They nearly did.
I suppose they still don't.
So point proven, really. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying.
Fair play, yeah. They're all right. The people who say that, they're spot on.
But you like that. You like a player that backs his own ability. If he sees something, he's got to go with it. And then if he doesn't come off, he's got to explain himself to the coach and his teammates. But with the scoreline like it is, absolutely go for it. Throw everything at Toronto. Don't die wondering.
Last couple of minutes, and the noise levels ramping up inside St James's Park, because it's Witness Saints that follows this from the Betfred Super League. First match of the Super League Magic Weekend. Toronto, that's coming up next. Witness Saints, Toronto, maybe ending up with the ball in hand and maybe some more reward, because here goes Liam Kay again, looking for his 4th try. Marion in very, very quickly, along with Marguerite.
He just thought he spotted something then, Liam Kay. Just a bit of looseness behind the back of the ruck.
Wallace again spins out of one challenge. Just couldn't get the pass away.
Matty Russell looking at getting involved. There he goes now. Difficult man to handle.
Yes, he is. Very low centre of gravity. Well, had a favourite Warrington this year, but he hopes heading back to the Super League next year with Ryan Briley and the rest of the Toronto Wolfpack. Be a fast, as you said, all the way through the match. It'll be a fascinating qualifying competition at the end of this season.
Can't wait to watch it. So turning up here at the Magic Weekend, I'm really looking forward to seeing what both of these sides have got, and a number of fans as well have turned in to watch this fixture. Seeing what Toronto and Toulouse, all the noise is all about.
Well, Toronto will end up with 25 points, Toulouse 20. Toulouse points difference, though, is 284. And now I can name that Liam Kay is the Betfred Championship Man of the Match here at St James's Park today. He has got an overwhelming vote that's gone in his favour. 2.5 tries he scored, will claim the hat-trick.
But the other side of the ball as well, not only for scoring those tries, but what he's done backfield as well. I think he showed up well.
Nice ball. Here is Marguerite. And Toronto, although they're winning this with ease in the last minute, they don't want to give anything else away, but they've just given a penalty away again. And that is the one cause of concern, I think, for Paul Rowley. The fact that the penalty count seems to me week on week goes against them.
Well, the likes of that penalty, that was because they were just trying to slow it down because they've been broken.
11-5 it is at the moment. Hopefully that will be the last one of the match.
I think some of the other penalties that they've been giving away is the ill-disciplined ones, the sloppy ones that you can't really accept.
This is Boyer again. Last 30 seconds of the match. Can Toulouse leave Newcastle with something to think about? Boyer gets the ball away to Jonathan Ford. Yes, they can! Tremendous try from Jonathan Ford. Okay, Toronto may be a little tired, knowing that the game is won. Perhaps guilty of putting the cue on the rack, but that was quality from Toulouse. And I tell you what, if they get in the qualifiers, they'll be a threat as well.
Well, the last 10 minutes, because the scoreboard was against them, they've absolutely just gone out there and played rugby. Jonathan Ford, he scores a try, and I think he has been brilliant in this game. I think all the teams now who are going to be looking at the qualifying 8 will be looking at Jonathan Ford and the likes of Corella. They're two men that they need to stop, know how to set tries up, know how to score tries. Good showing from that man in Newcastle.
Well, 43-28, 43-30 if this ball goes over. And indeed it does, so 43 Toronto, 32 Toulouse. That's the way it's finished up. Toronto march on at the top of the table, but Toulouse showing late on in this match that they have something as well in the locker when we get to the end of season qualifiers. Entertaining game to kick off this Magic weekend. And not from the Super League, but from the Betfred Championship on this occasion. Really, really good. So there we are. That's game 1 of 7 done and dusted at the start of this Magic weekend. And the final score here, Toronto 43, Toulouse 30.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. Toronto extending a 4-point half-time lead to win out 43-30, as Eddie has said, in the end. Well, it's an action-packed game. Bob Bezic in the sin bin. Toronto Wolfpack now going 5 points clear at the top of the Betfred Championship. It was a chance for Toulouse to close that gap at the top. They were unable to take it, and some very controversial decisions in that game. A look at the table now confirms Toronto 5 points clear of Toulouse. Toulouse and Featherstone on 20 points, with Featherstone, of course, having a game in hand. Right, coming up for you from Magic Weekend, we have an afternoon of Betfred Super League action. Widnes are up against the league leader St Helens. That's next on Sky Sports Arena. And then we have Wigan and Warrington, 5 p.m. start for that one, Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports main event. And then it all ends with a repeat of the 2017 Grand Final. It's the Castleford Tigers. Have they solved the full-back problem? They have Michael Shenton going at full-back against the Leeds Rhinos, the current champions. That's a 7:15 start, Sky Sports Arena and Sky Sports main event for that one. Can those sides get their season going? It hasn't been the greatest of starts for both of those. A reminder that we will have Scott Quinnell in studio previewing the Wigan-Warrington match coming up in the middle of those 3 fixtures. He has had quite an exciting time of late. He'll tell us all about that. Coming up on next on main event, it's Celtic Motherwell, the Scottish Cup final. We will leave Sky Sports main event now. Stay with us though on Sky Sports Arena for Widnes St Helens, the first Betfred Super League fixture from the Dacia Magic Weekend.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardacre. Hardacre to Minikin. Wide to Eden. 31 for the season.
We travel the world to find these gems and set price alerts on Kayak to track flight offers for new destinations, so we never miss a great deal.
You press the allow and now we'll see if you're a veg, which one you be. But in return we get to know a lot. We're collecting all your info and we're sharing everything so strangers know about the rash you got. Enjoy yourself, but check your settings to make sure that you're not letting stuff be shared you'd really rather not.
Visit Barclays to discover ways that you can take control of your personal data.
By the way, you're an onion.
If it looks like this one,
Get ready for carnage!
sounds like this one,
Whoops. After you, man. Thanks.
and makes you feel like this one,
Ready to do this? 1, 2, 3!
then it's got to be this one.
I could get used to this.
All the good stuff on Sky One.
Because nighttime. Because babysitter. Because, remember this? Because places to be and be seen. Because letting go. Because our time. Because hybrid. Because sometimes the only reason you need is because. Toyota CHR.
Discover the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Guess what you did last night? You insulted Goliath.
The giant.
David, you can't call people giant.
Josiah, hand me my spear.
Maceo broke it.
How about a sling? A sling?
Energy beats everything.
Who's got the vision to be the new master of photography? Starts Tuesday the 29th of May at 8 on Sky Arts.
Monaghan cutting a swathe up the knee. This Eden has lost it. Maguire swoops. Maguire scores the try for the Rhinos.
We're at the Dash-In Magic Weekend and it is game one for the Betfred Super League. What can the Witness Vikings offer in resistance to the league-leading Saints? Kick-off 3 o'clock here at St James's Park. Right, a look at the Betfred Super League table will show St Helens out on top, 2 points clear of the Wigan Warriors, while having played a game more than the second place side. The Witness Vikings currently in 10th. They will have their eyes on that 8th spot and avoiding the qualifiers at all costs. In a bit of a hole though at the moment, the Witness Vikings. Yes, welcome back to St James's Park. The Witness Vikings, having lost their last 6 Super League matches, now go up against the St Helens side that for most of 2018 have been rampant, and they have in their ranks a man who is the leading contender for the Man of Steel award in 2018. I'm joined by John Wells and Barry McDermott to preview this match. We will talk, no doubt, in depth about St Helens, about their mercurial fullback. It's hard not to, but I want to talk firstly about the Witness Vikings and tease out, Barry, from you, if I can, what you feel that they might be able to offer in resistance to St Helens.
Well, they've got nothing to lose this afternoon, have they? They come into this side, they know they're facing the team with the best attack, the best defence, and arguably the best player in the competition. So what they've got to do, they can't spend all game in a defensive attitude. They can't